I've got 12:10, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Again, for those of you who are Rotarians and guests, welcome to the Rochester Rotary Club. Best cloud space that there is in all of Rochester for fellowship and service. For those of you who are visitors, my name is Wayne Hodges, and for a short time now, I will continue to serve as the Rochester Rotary Club president until the 1st of July. Will you all please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
We need that bouncing ball.
Well, we're working on the bouncing ball. Will you next please join me in reciting our trusted Rotary four-way test of those things we think, say, or do?
Is it
Truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be fun for all? All right. Christine Haig, will you please give us today's invocation?
Peter's going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Go ahead, Peter.
All right. Dear Father, as we gather here in the harbor of your safety, we thank you for fellowship, family, and the resources that allow us to join together safely. We ask that you will strengthen us, restore us, and inspire us with your love. Lord, fill us with your peace and patience so that as we journey onwards towards not a new normal, but rather a better normal, we would pour out your love and grace to others. We ask that our souls will catch the wind of your spirit so that as Rotarians, we continue to take your promises to all the earth. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Peter. Those of you who are guests today, if you would go to the bottom of your screen and click on the chat feature, you'll have a screen show up on the right-hand side that will allow you to enter your contact information, identify who you are, so that our membership committee can furnish you with the information that you're probably looking for about learning more about our club. Moving on, for our Zoom meeting today, our 15th sign-on was a new member who happened to be our speaker last week, Julianne Moria. Okay, so Julianne, you are absolved of many fines today. But trust me, the sheriff has a long, long memory, Julianne. Happy Bucks. Does I think Tom Naveau, you said something. You've got a happy buck about you want to go back to work. Tom wants to go back to work. Anybody else want to just go on that chat feature and type on? Oh, somebody says we all need a haircut. I think that's Andrea. Well, she's right. David Early liked the prayer. Tim Duncan was happy about his new haircut. Linda Eastman, is looking for a hair salon speakeasy. Gee, Linda, I didn't even know that word, speakeasy. I'm surprised. Shirley Gofrank says she's getting a haircut next week. Tim Duncan says he's not. And from Linda Eastman to all the women, our hair is getting really long. Who among us feels strongly that hair salons are essential services? I see quite a few hands going up. Peter Stillreyer is he's happy for the Blue Angel flyover today. Annette Werner, she says got a $20 happy buck thanks to Jay Eastman for getting her staff some PPE. Well, thank you, Jay. Anyone else? Tim Duncan says thanks to Christine Haig for the masks. And Vince is happy that his family was able to take a walk on Rochester Hills Innovation Hills Park before the snow. Andrea is a happy buck. Oh, her new puppy slept through the night last night. Holy smokes. You know, if you've got a gas oven, Andrea, what you can do is you open the door of the oven, turn the gas on, and you just set the puppy right there for about 30 seconds. They go right to sleep. Doesn't hurt them at all. Phil's happy buck is Carol keeps trimming his horns, but they always seem to grow back. And May is Older American Month, a time to celebrate contributions to older adults that we cherish and honor. That's from Renee Courtwright. And Tim Duncan wants to put in $20, Vince. So if you would record that. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Moving on to member birthdays. We have 2 this week. Dale Hetrick is on the 10th of May, and John Modetz is the 14th of May. So in true Rotarian fashion, will you all please join me in the singing of Happy Birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday, dear
Rotarian.
Rotarian.
Happy birthday
to
you.
$5,
please. Club anniversaries. We have none this week, believe it or not. I didn't see Tim Crawford on, so just a quick reminder that we still do have the Masters Golf Tournament raffle tickets for sale. I think we're still at about 30 tickets, and we do have posters to put up at the different golf courses as they open around our community. So if you are going to frequent one of those golf courses, please get a hold of Tim or John Somerville. Can you furnish them with a copy of the poster also?
Yeah, I'll send another one out via email to
Okay.
everybody in the club today.
John will send one out and you can print it off. And if you would post it then at the golf courses that you frequent, that'll help us let others know. And, you know, those last 30 tickets, they're worth about $3,000 to our charities budget. And right now, you know, being very frank with you, that money is very, very precious. Moving on, last week we started to talk about a Phoenix project where the club is putting together a program to recover from the impact of the COVID-19 and the social distancing countermeasures, because it really has disrupted both our service projects and our ability to raise money, in particular this spring. And Ron Lichtel, I believe you've got a message that you'd like to pass on to our members. Ron?
Yes, I do. Some of you know, I used to be with the Troy Rotary Club for over 10 years and was present there. There was no training. You just ran it the best you could, and I did an all right job. This club is around 100, and numerous past presidents. I've had training up the wazoo from Wayne and Ray Dorr. But what we have faced and will face in the future is nothing like any of us have faced before. This thing is not going away. And I'd be the first one to admit I definitely don't have all the ideas and how to cope with this. In these times of the COVID-19 and social distancing, all of us are feeling challenged by this disease. These conditions are also presenting challenges to our club. We're a service organization. For us to be the club we think we are, to be the community leader we think we are, we need to step up to these challenges by finding new ways to provide the kind of service we are known for in our community and the world. We're Rochester Rotary. Please put your thinking caps on and help me move our club forward in spite of what's going on in the world. You'll get an email, and I'm looking for any ideas. I'm looking for all the help I can get. Thanks.
Thank you, Ron. And I would echo Ron's sentiment. You know, it's Ron's going to be president here in a few weeks, but it's really up to all of us because it's our club. Moving on. One of the requests we had from some of the members was to learn more about Zoom and the features that it has. And so I'm going to turn the microphone over to the guy I call the magician when it comes to Zoom, John Somerville.
All right, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see my presentation?
Right now I'm seeing Hap.
Yeah, that's the idea. All right.
Okay.
So I wanted to walk through just three features really that some of you may have already figured out and mastered, but just in case, wanted to run through it because they'll help you interact and be involved in the meeting a little better. The first one is changing the view. When you log in, some of you might just see a big video of whoever's currently talking and then a string of people at the top. You can change that so that you can see a whole gallery with 15 or 20 people at the same time. The button for that, when you're looking at your screen, is at the upper right corner. It kind of looks like 9 little squares all bunched together. When you click that, it'll change between the view that you see right now on my screen and a grid that has 15 or 20 different faces on it at the same time. So that's one thing. The next item is the chat feature. We've talked a lot about chat. I'm sure a lot of you have already found it, but I thought I'd just go over it again for some of you who may have not found it. At the bottom of your Zoom meeting window, right in the middle, I have it outlined in red here. There's a little chat icon. When you click on that, it'll open a chat window over on the right side. And if you look closely at the bottom, it'll say who you're chatting to. By default, it goes to everybody, so the whole club can see it. When we ask for fines and happy bucks and things like that, you type it here with it designated for everybody. You can also choose to chat privately to individual people, and there are 2 ways to get there. The first one is when you're looking at people in the video view and you see the different faces, you can put your mouse over their video. There's a little button up in the upper right-hand corner of each person's video. When you hover over it, that's got 3 little white dots. When you click on that, you get this little menu, and then you see chat there as the third option. When you click on that, then your chat window automatically changes to their name, and then it says in parentheses, privately, so you can see that you're chatting just to them. So if you want to chat with somebody about something in specific during the meeting privately, you can do that. Just remember to change it back if you want to message the whole group for a fine or something like that. And also remember that if you do change it back, you are not still chatting privately. Everybody can see what you're saying. The other way you can get there, and another feature, is to view all the participants in a list. So if you go back to the main chat window, right next to where it says chat, there's a couple little icons of people. That shows you the participants. If you click on that on the right side of your screen, you get a whole list of all the participants currently in the Zoom call. And same with the other way to get into private chat. If you hover over their name, there's a little more button, and then the first option on that is chat. So you can also select to chat privately with somebody right there. That concludes today's Zoom tutorial. I will think of something else clever to share with all of you for next week.
Well, thank you, John. I can tell you this, given the average age of our group, you don't have to think too long, okay, to come up with something that seems clever for some of us, okay? Some of the rest of you that are a little bit younger, you might have to work a little bit harder at. But thanks again. I think that was very helpful. You know, the last couple of weeks, we've had the honor of doing something that really is just one of the most important things that we get to do as a Rotary Club. And that is to induct a new member. And today, again, we have the opportunity to induct a new honorary member Lorraine Kaschak, to our Rotary Club, because Lorraine, you manifest those qualities of head and heart needed to serve Rotary and to impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come in contact. I charge you to judge yourself by the Rotary 4-way test in the things that you think, say, and do. I wish to impress upon you that you are being admitted not only to the Rochester Rotary Club, but also to a worldwide association of individuals dedicated to the Rotary motto of service above self. By the virtue of your honorary membership into this club, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary club in the world. The honor and privilege of being a Rotarian and having membership carries with it duties and obligations. Now, as an honorary Rotarian, okay, you are excused from some of these. However, we still want you to understand what we think Rotary is all about. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, actively participate in club service, offer your knowledge, talents, and energy to the club in its efforts to serve our community. Now, who is Lorraine Kaschak? Well, Lorraine has been teaching high school math since 2002. She's currently teaching at Stony Creek High School, where she's been the faculty advisor to our Stony Creek Interact Club there for about the past 10 years. The Stony Creek Interact Club has earned the Rotary Presidential Citation for the past 5 years consecutively. In 2019, the Stony Creek Interact Club planned and hosted the Interact Day for more than 100 interactors from all over District 6380. Lorraine is also a past recipient of a Paul Harris Fellow from the Rochester Rotary Club. Personally, prior to becoming a teacher, Lorraine worked as a worked in radiation oncology as a certified medical dosimetrist. Did I get that right?
Dosimetrist.
Dosimetrist. Well, I'm an engineer. What do you expect? Until she began her student teaching and changed careers. She is drawn to the careers where she can make a difference and looks for ways to help others. She is happily married to Rich for 33 years, and together they have 3 adult children, 1 grandson and 1 granddaughter. Oh, heaven, heaven, heaven. Who will join the family in September 2020. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her large family, making friends, and taking vacations to Disney. I now ask all Rotarians and guests to please rise. Lorraine Kaschak, on behalf of the members of this club, I formally admit you to the membership of the Rochester Rotary Club. Fellow Rotarians, I commend to you our newest member and charge that all of you welcome her and to engage her in our projects, fun, and fellowship. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our newest honorary member, Lorraine Kaschak.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right.
Thank you.
Lorraine, did you want to say anything?
Boy, I didn't know I was going to.
Well, you don't have to.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this. I've always enjoyed coming to your meetings. I have gotten to know a few people since I've been the advisor, and so I look forward to being a member, an honorary member, I guess. So,
Good.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Well, we have enjoyed all of your efforts, and in particular, without you and your kindred spirits, we could not fulfill, our mission with our youth programs. And we are truly grateful to have you as a part of our club. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the Rotarian of the Week. I think I spied a Linda Eastman out there. Were you J-list today, Linda? I didn't see Jay, but I believe I saw you.
Okay. Do you see us? We're both
You are still joined at the hip.
here.
I'm the background.
Hey, guess what? I'm going back to work this week. He's not.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You're good. Go.
Well, I really, really appreciated having the virtual award last week. More than anything, it meant so much to have John say those nice things about me. It was really humbling, and coming from him, I thought about it all week, and I really appreciate that, John. And it's my great honor to pass it on to someone who completely exemplifies the Rotary spirit and the Rotary way of life. And the person I'm going to give it to is Annette Werner. And I'll tell you why. I didn't know Annette before Rotary, but since I met her, we've gotten a chance to have lunch together every week for whenever it was that she joined. And we got to know each other really well when she offered to be on the Cookie Walk committee. And I really got to see what she was made out of. Just really a hard worker and service above self. And this week just blew everything out of the water, because Jay and I met her in the parking lot in Rochester to hand over some masks and gloves for the people that so desperately need them. And she had a gift basket for us that was so incredibly thoughtful, and it was so over the top, and it meant so much to us. And that's just one tiny little example of Annette and what Annette is made of. So Annette, I know the award itself isn't, well, let's just say it's an erstwhile award, but the feeling behind it is just, like I said, over the top. You're the greatest. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very humble. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Next is our sheriff of the day, David Blair. And I would remind you all that you can pay your fines using the chat feature that John Somerville was so gracious to explain to us earlier. So David, take it away.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate you, appreciate the hard work of everybody. I'm in my office here. This has been kind of a pattern where the sheriff needs something to add a little bit of authority. So let me just make a little change here. There's a Sheriff Woody. You know, with this pandemic and with, friends that may have passed away, I've been thinking a lot about my own mortality, right? About death. And it's a difficult topic to think about, and one thing that I think might help is, if you have a bucket list, things that you want to do before you pass. So I didn't reach out to all Rotarians, but I did reach out to most. And I put a bucket on my front porch, and Rotarians would come by my house and they would take suggestions of, here's something you might like on your bucket list, and they'd put it in the bucket. There was no contact, so it was nice and safe. And I just wanted to read to you some of the bucket list suggestions from Rotarians. Okay, so this one's from Wayne, and he says to give a Paul Harris Award. That's a great bucket list item. It's also a $3 fine, but no, it's a very good one. Timo says, convince somebody to buy you a Paul Harris Award. It's a $5 fine for Timo there. Dave Erdley says, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. That's an easy one. I checked that off the list. That's a good one, Dave. That's a $3 fine for you. Ron Lichtel says, apologize publicly to Ron. Well, you see, I accused Ron of maybe damaging my air conditioner. Turns out it was my kids and their power wheel. So I'm sorry, Ron. Didn't mean to question you or your crew. It's a $5 fine for you too, though. Rhonda Panzik says, go visit Rome. It's a good one. It's a $3 fine, I think. Make that a $4 fine for Rhonda. Steve Schettenhelm says, get arrested by the Rochester Police Department. It's a $5 fine right there. It goes on to say, police are bored with bars being closed, and he promises it will make the community lifestyles paper. Still
So
$5
David, I have a
fine?
question. Did you find me yet? Paul
Whoever's
Haig.
talking, don't talk. It's a $2 fine for whoever's talking there.
Okay.
Excuse me. This is my bucket list, by the way. So, don't interrupt. Shirley says, learn to dance. It's a good suggestion. I'd love to learn to dance. It's definitely something that could make it on my bucket list. It's a $2 fine for you, Shirley. Kelly Dean says, learn to sing. Never occurred to me. I'd love to learn to sing. That's a great bucket list item. It's a $4 fine for Kelly Dean. Somebody sees her. Dave Walker. Dave Walker says, I've heard you sing. Use this bucket to carry a tune. It's a $5 fine for Dave Walker. That was me. Tim Crawford says, bucket kind of sounds like Buckeye. Buy life insurance from Crawford Agency. The $3 fine for Tim Crawford. You kind of missed the point. Ernie Schaefer says, get a real job. $5 fine for Ernie. Bill Evinger says, sing every single Rotary song. Well, that's a great one. It's a $1 fine. We've got some great songs in Rotary. So thank you, Bill Evinger. That's a fine that I'll pay. Joe Allen says, you should see my bucket list. Yours pales in comparison. Spelled P-A-I-L. That's a $5 fine for Joe Allen. I didn't want puns, but it's cute. Steve Cooper says, I just updated Windows 10 to version 1911, intermittent issues with audio hardware. This is a support ticket. Hey, call the main number, okay? This is not how we're doing that. It's a $5 fine. Phil Lohman, this one's just a list of names. Oh, look, my wife is on there. Phil, I'm gonna have to call you and figure out what that one's all about. Kyle Johnson says, memorize the 4-way test. Geez, Kyle, are you struggling with that one? I memorized that years ago. It's a $3 fine for you. And this one's from Linda Eastman. It says, open the chat, type $5 Rotary Charities, because this is your Rotary fine. $5, it all goes to a good cause. Thank you very much. Back to you, President Wayne.
On in our schedule. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I'd like to introduce today's speaker, but before I do that, normally we have the officer that's in charge of scheduling the speakers do that, and that continues to be David, our presidential nominee, David Eardley, who is scheduled to serve as president not next year, in July of 21. He will start after Ron Lichtel. But I just want to acknowledge all the hard work that David's doing and the great speakers that he's lining up for us as we go through this difficult period. Today's speaker is our own Kathy Lazinski, and Kathy will be talking to us about helping those in need during the pandemic. Kathy?
Thank you. I assume I'm unmuted, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, to start, thank you. To start today's presentation, John, will you please roll the YouTube that our intern created, our Neighborhood House intern created? Thank you. Sorry about the sound. The important thing I think to know is that Neighborhood House is here because of the community and for the community. And I have a presentation. I'd like to share my screen, if that's okay, John. Is it up there? Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So first of all, Neighborhood House exists only for the community and because of our community. So together, during this time and during our entire time, we exist, we thrive together. So without your help, we couldn't do anything. And I'm trying to get this to, what is Neighborhood House? We're the food pantry, we're the clothes closet, we're self-sufficiency services, but more than that, we're a community working together to make sure that individuals in our neighborhood can thrive. And it's sometimes difficult to tell exactly what we're talking about when we say our neighborhood. We're comprised of the 5 municipalities in Northeast Oakland County: Auburn Hills, Rochester Hills, Rochester is over there, Oakland Township, and Leonard Township. It is 100 square miles. And we sort of sometimes look wistfully at the way things were in 2019. In 2019, the food pantry provided over 2,000 food orders in the community, over 1,500 clothes closet visits, 10,000 miles of transportation, $78,000 worth of direct financial assistance to prevent evictions. We utilized 15,000 volunteer hours, and we provided almost 500 counseling appointments. So it's been a huge change for us, because during this time, our community has really focused on our food pantry, which is the most basic need that we're providing right now. The food pantry has provided over 50,000 meals in the last 2.5 months. And we would not be able to have done that without our community's assistance. And we've been able to do it in a very safe way. One of our newest clients said it this way: "Thank you so very much for your assistance with the food pantry. This is all new experience for me. Candidly, I expected to pick up maybe 1 bag of canned and boxed food. I can't believe how many great things were packed for me in these bags. I'm so thankful for your assistance. My boys loved the little extras we received. These days, it's the little things, and these little things created so much joy for my family. Thank you again." That's what makes our pantry a little different than some of the pantries you see on TV, where people are lined up in cars to get a box or a bag. It's the personal service. It's the little special things that our volunteers do for the folks. It's the care of the community, wanting to make sure that there's some normalcy in this sense of abnormality. And to make it easy for our community to help us by donating, we have a lot of needs posted online on our website. These are the most commonly utilized items, which is posted on the website. So there are folks out there who, since gatherings can't since we can't hold gatherings in churches and schools, we missed our mail carry food drive last weekend. There are many people in the community that are out there with food baskets, with just like the bucket lists that we saw David showed us, doing food collections on their front porch and then bringing the food safely to the pantry. We have neighborhoods We have, this is a high school student from Adams that did a food drive for us. Homeowners Association. The Assistance League provided us with enough gift cards for people to go get their own groceries for about 25 families. We not only provide food, we provide, our donors give us all kinds of things. Trader Joe's gave us flowers one day. And so we were able to pass that joy along to one of our neighbors who said she comes every Thursday. We not only provide the food, the full 2 weeks worth of food for the family, but every Thursday, things like fresh items like these flowers are provided to anybody who is enrolled in our services. So this particular day, Trader Joe's gave us the roses, and our neighbor who received them went out in her garden and picked some other flowers to brighten up her house. So not only are we providing nourishment for the stomach, but nourishment for the soul. We're always grateful to the community partners we have. Again, we're not just providing the canned food, we're providing lots and lots of fresh items. And because of the donation Rotary gave us, this kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of what we were able to do with the donation, which was one of our early donations to the food pantry. We know that this year we are going to be facing this need for the entire year. So we have a collection online to help us continue to not just provide food for the pantry like this shopping spree did, but also we are going to be moving forward with our regular services. We do want to acknowledge and thank all of our member partners who are giving us the support we need in not just food resources, but personal protection and advice on the best practices for food pantry. And we are able to provide the services even while we're social distancing. So you can kind of see some of the fun things. There's one family who has done 6 weeks worth of food collecting in their neighborhood. Once a week, they bring over food to our food pantry, and they're using it as a lesson for their children. Their son is a 5th grader who's learning how to do spreadsheets to keep track of what they're collecting and how and how we're using it, how the food is coming into the pantry, how it's going out. And mom comes over every Saturday with her deliveries and intends to continue to do this with her children even after they go back to work and the kids go back to school. But here we are, we're looking forward to the future. And while the environment has changed, our mission has not. And our mission is probably familiar to you by now. We walk the path towards self-sustainability with our neighbors during times of hardship by utilizing our community of neighbors helping neighbors thrive. Before COVID-19, 26% of the folks in those 5 municipalities would have required some assistance if they met an emergency need. They were living paycheck to paycheck for worse. Now with unemployment and with people making changes, we know that that particular need is going to be increased, and we have planned for the rest of the year to meet the need doubly. But we can't do it without the community, and we do it through volunteers. Right now, we're accepting volunteers at the food pantry, and it can be, the sign up is right on our website. If you know anybody who wants to work on the food pantry or any other of our resources, we have a brand new volunteer application that specifies all kinds of volunteer needs, including gardening work to help clean up the weeds in our garden beds, to signing up for online budget coaching, budget counseling, and so forth. And again, we're looking to go back to a new normal. We are currently recruiting. This is our a picture of our current youth board, which has been working with us since June of 2019, and they're about to graduate. While they're graduating, though, we are recruiting our next generation of executive youth board. We utilize the youth quite a lot in our programs, and these kids helped us during the year with all kinds of setup, cleanup, and recruiting other volunteers. The sign up is on the Neighborhood House website if you know of any student who might like to participate with us in 2020-21. We currently have recruits from Rochester High, Adams High, Stony Creek High. We're going to be working with Ace High School in the upcoming year. And we also have the International Academy of Macomb County. And we are working with some of the other schools, Notre Dame Prep and so forth, some of the other private schools. So we welcome students from any high school background. As I said, we look forward to going back to normal, and Closed Closet has not been opening except on emergency basis for the last couple months. We utilize 2 paid individuals and about 40 volunteers a week to process clothes in and out of the Closed Closet. And most of those volunteers felt that they needed to follow the stay-at-home order, and so we've been closed, but slowly we're going to be opening up. And in 2 weeks, we're going to start taking clients for an hour at a time and providing personal walkthroughs through the Closed Closet, so that especially parents whose kids have grown out of warm weather clothes and so forth can replenish their closets. One good thing about the Closed Closet is that at the end of season, we store the clothes that we think we'll need at the beginning of the following season. So at this point, we're not in need of donations. The Closed Closet is ready and waiting for our parents to come in and choose the warm weather clothing at the beginning, and then we're going to open up a couple days a week, very slowly. We also hope to be opening our transportation program soon. The transportation program is available for appointments to doctor's appointments and social service appointments. We are fitting the van with a plexiglass for the safety of the drivers and for the safety of our clients, and masks and gloves will be necessary for all of our services, just to make sure that everybody is safe. We also provide cash fuel cards for people who are in need, especially if they need to get to work. And our bike program will be continuing. I've already got the first 3 bike donations for this season in the back of our building. Self-sufficiency programs are what we really are all about. We want to move people from this emergency into a more sustainable lifestyle. So we are not giving up on our employment assistance program, which is about 1.5 years old. We have 3 job coaches that will continue to coach people on how to seek jobs, best to critique resumes, to tutor people in virtual interviewing, which is a whole new skill. We will continue with our financial counseling, budget coaching, and our other mentoring programs, which is one great way people in the community can volunteer. If they have a particular skill they think that they could help us train, do some job training on, they can reach out to our volunteer coordinator and we can get people matched up. we've already started back. Ironically, that the first service that was requested by our neighbors after food was computer access. Through our employment initiative, we had provided computers with fax services, copying services, Wi-Fi, and so forth. And that was the first service that our neighbors were looking for. So now we have three computers stations set up in our building, which is 8,000 square feet. So we don't really have to worry about social distancing at this point. They're in 3 different rooms, and they're stations set up with everything that an individual could need, including the Wi-Fi, the printer, the internet access, the copy machine, and so forth and so on. The big concern people have is being able to connect with their unemployment services and with their Michigan Department of Human Services benefits, their food, Michigan bridges, and so forth. So without secure internet, folks can't do that. And we have 3 stations at a time that we can help people do that in our building with appointments starting this Monday. We continue to offer the financial and budget counseling, but those will be virtual consultations going forward. We will continue with our computer classes, but with the social distancing. And believe it or not, this summer, we plan to go virtual with our cooking classes in conjunction with Gleaners and the Cooking Matters program. We'll be doing videos on cooking and Zoom classes. We're very busy. We know that the holidays are going to look a lot different this year, and we're very busy planning our seasonal programs coming up. We've already started with how are we going to provide blast off to school. Generally speaking, we provide 500 kids in the community with all the school supplies that they need that are appropriate for their grade level. We're in the process of planning that. Last year, we got all 500 kids in on an August Saturday between 9 and 3. This year, we know we can't do that. So we're in the process of planning how are we going to collect those school supplies, how are we going to sort those school supplies and get them out safely to our kids, and how are we going to tailor the assortment of school supplies based on whether the kids are actually physically in the classroom or are they still going to be staying home. So there's a lot of planning that's going into back to school. We're looking at our Blast Off to School fundraiser. Just like in the fall, we don't know if those fundraisers are going to be available. We lost our fashion show in May. Thankfully, Rotary helped us with their big donation so that we didn't miss the wine tasting earlier in the spring. But those big fundraisers are how we generally raise the funds to do all of our program. So Scare Away Hunger, we're looking at the possibility of doing a virtual run instead of our physical run, although the physical Scare Away Hunger run is still planned for October 18th. So there's a lot of planning going into the upcoming seasons. Thanksgiving is one of them. Normally we have a karate group who's doing their doing shows all year round to raise money to buy the Thanksgiving goodies. And then they come in and they pack them and we get the folks to come through the pantry one night before Thanksgiving. We're planning on how is that going to look like? Are the Karate Kids going to be able to raise the money this year, or are we going to have to look for new resources? Are we going to have to schedule specific appointments instead of saying pick up between 6 and 8? So there's a lot of things that are changing, but as they change, we are looking to adjust and move forward and create a new niche for our community by providing all the referral services and the sustainability services that our clients are used to having and that our newer clients might need. So I want to thank you all for being involved. Rotary's been absolutely wonderful, not just as an organization, but as individuals. And I encourage you to continue to volunteer, to continue to visit us virtually, to help people understand how to participate in online giving, and just find out more by going to our website. So that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kathy. It was very informative and very heartfelt, I must admit. Next week, we're going to hear from two of our new members, Sharon Rinke and Amy Converse, and kind of addressing how can local banks help us cope with the COVID-19 challenges that we're facing. There are programs out there that the banks appear to have the key to help us have access to. So Kathy, is a great presentation. Again, David, I appreciate you scheduling all these. I think they've been very meaningful and very appropriate given the time that we're living through. Again, if anyone knows of someone who is interested in learning more, on our website, we have both the new member brochure as well as the guest information sheet that's online that can be sent to them by email. And with that, we had 47 people join us today. Thank you again, and meeting is adjourned.